All right, welcome back to the Survivor Conquest podcast. So it has been a while. Those of you very loyal viewers, hopefully from 47, will come back to watch our season 50 coverage. And we are going to start our season 50 coverage with our draft for Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans. Our draft rules are a bit probably different compared to what you normally see. So I'm going to allow Kyle to explain what the draft rules are.
Okay, so for our initial draft, this first draft we've ever done, we're going to keep it relatively simple. We're going to have a player's placement be equivalent to how many points us or whoever drafted them receives. So, first boot, they get 1 point for your overall score. If you get the winner, you get 24 points. However, the only asterisk next to this is that for every vote casted against a player on your draft, it counts as negative 1 point. So, for example, if you have somebody on your draft that goes home first boot 7-1, your score after that would be -6 because they get 1 point for getting 24th place and -6 for the 7 votes casted against them. And I don't know if we're fully decided, but we may also have it so that when it comes to the final three at Final Tribal Council, we may have jury votes that the finalists receive also count as a point per jury vote. I will kind of decide if we want to add that extra hijink on later. Well, we'll look at the scores. If I'm too far back, but I feel like I got a good winner in my midst, then we'll add that point later. But pretty simple. I'm sure it'll make sense as you viewers watch time and time again. You'll see the draft score go up and down, but it'll be fun. And hopefully, this works out to where we're not all intensely in the negative when the season ends, because I feel like that's possible. Now, I should say, welcome back, Michael Stallings. You have been, I don't know, is this your second or third time? I can't remember. I
Oh
know you've done it at
gosh.
least once.
It's definitely been at least once. Either
Yeah, you were like the most
or-
popular episode.
let's go for a little bit, I think. Oh,
All right. So, I mean, I don't feel like we need too much preamble. I feel like our viewers are chomping at the bit to get our insight into this season 50 cast. So, Stallings, we're going to let you kick it off with the very first pick.
alrighty. I was gonna pull up the cast and try and get a little bit of a deeper look into it, but for my first pick, I do not need that.
Oh.
I'm going to be choosing this player, this male player, because he is my best guess at who I genuinely think is going to win the season, just based on how he played in his first season and just based on overall how I think his style of gameplay is going to translate. And without being further cryptic, my number one pick is going to be Charlie
Oh my
Davis.
God.
Because Charlie is an all-rounder. When we saw him play on 46, he was able to navigate the game pretty much every single tribal making the decisions to send people home. We even saw at the split where it went to two groups, he was originally pretty much on the bottom and then ended up being one of the people in control. And I think that his relatable nature of being obviously really intelligent so that he can kind of fit in with the gamer crew and also fitting in with obviously all the new era as well as the old era because I think he's kind of what people are going to look at as like not the biggest threat and a pretty trustworthy guy. So if he finds himself around the right crowd, pretty confident he can take the whole thing. It's gonna be my first pick.
Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but Kyle and I
Yeah.
had like the biggest grins as we were speaking because I think we were both thinking the same thing. Because when we gave our season 50 cast reaction, I said Charlie is my winner pick, and Charlie was going to be my first choice. So now I have to pick someone else.
All right, fellas.
So, you can go next, Isaiah, since your winner
Ah,
pick got
I don't
sniped
know.
from you.
Because I didn't
Or I
prepare for
go.
this.
That doesn't matter to me.
The only thing I was like aware of is, oh, I was just gonna pick Charlie first. Now I actually have to take the time to think, who am I going to pick next?
I swear to God, Isaiah.
I actually don't know what you're thinking. Oh wait, yes I do. Yes I do. Um, you know what? I'm gonna be interesting and be funny. So
Oh
I'm
God,
going to
no.
pick. Uh Mother Vive herself, as people would
Okay.
say on the internet, Genevieve as my first draft pick, which was Kyle's winner pick. I just did that just to be a bit interesting. And honestly, I think Genevieve is kind of overrated. I mean, she's a good player, don't get me wrong. I just don't see why people speak so highly of her. And just keeping, I guess, the draft in mind, I don't see her as somebody that's going to have her name written down like the entire season. I mean, maybe she'll go home early, but you also have to keep in mind potentially going home early and maybe being on a smaller tribe like swap screwed or something, go home like 4-1 isn't that bad in terms of the whole point system. So
Yeah.
I think for that reason, I'm gonna pick Genevieve. If she goes home early, hopefully she goes home on a smaller tribe. I don't think people are gonna be writing her name down every single time. I think there are bigger fish to fry on this cast, and I do have faith in Genevieve that she could pull off a decent run. So I'm picking Genevieve.
Screw you, Isaiah. There goes my winner pick. Now
I
I have to
know.
pick
I
someone
did.
new.
I kind of did that
Okay,
on
well,
purpose.
I thought of who I wanted to pick as soon as you decided you were going to steal my first pick, who I was going to pick first. Um, So when we were first doing our initial cast assessment for 50, I said I feel like this is a woman's season to win because I feel like there's a lot of strong gamers among the women that may not inherently be massive threats. And I feel like a lot of the men are more so characters, other than I felt Charlie, who seemed like less of a character, more of a gamer. But because of that, and because he was the only one, he stood out. So I bounced around between a few people for who I wanted my winner to pick to be. And there's another Canadian, another woman who's a gamer on
Hmm.
50. So I'll make my first winner pick now, Camilla. They're not my winner pick, my first draft pick, Camilla. Because, I mean, I feel like her challenge ability might not be there, so she might just be seen as a liability. And there are three people from 48, so I feel like we're going to lose at least one of them in the pre-merge guaranteed. So Camilla is a dangerous pick, but based on the criteria that I picked my winner pick, she's another solid choice. So I'm going to go Camilla for my first choice.
Okay. It's an interesting one. I don't hate it. I really don't. Um, yeah, I don't even know if we're giving too much input on each other's.
Go
That's
ahead,
a
do whatever you want to do.
I
Yeah,
mean,
We're
I
all
love I
go ahead.
like Isaiah's reasoning because I think like my first thought when you picked Genevieve, I was like, oh, thank God he got that one out of the way because I was never gonna pick
yeah.
Genevieve.
I felt a bit scared
Um,
picking Genevieve as a winner pick. I feel
but
like amongst the
yeah,
women on the cast, she does stand out as like a bit of a strategic threat, and I feel like we saw that in like the lead up to 50. Like I feel like people she kind of stood out as like somebody that was dangerous.
oh yeah, but I mean, now hearing your explanation, that logic tracks. I mean, even if Genevieve is one of the first out, that's you get all the votes out of the way, you know? If you pick someone else who's a target throughout the season, then you're gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that is something I also have to take into consideration. So with that being said, I am trying to think of someone who I don't necessarily believe will get targeted early and will catch a ton of votes throughout the season, that's a pretty hard thing to do because I mean, how do you really even like how do you
An
really
easy person to get voted out early
It,
and not keep catching votes. It's a very difficult rubric. Who could that apply to? Depending on
it's
the season, it
hard
could be anyone.
because even looking back at like Survivor Game Changers, for example, Suri made it all the way to final six, and she didn't receive a single vote cast against her. She got Suri'd out. So, I mean, you never really know.
begs the question, can she do it again, or is the time finally up for Miss Suri? And I'm trying my best to think back to the little interviews I saw posted where they covered a little bit about who would you vote off first on the island, because I mean, I think that's a pretty, you know, good indicator. But for my next pick, um, I am gonna go with somebody who I think will do a fantastic job at keeping their name out of the mix and also building very, very strong, lasting bonds. It's someone who I see going really far. I don't necessarily know if he's going to win. And I promise I will eventually be choosing women. But for my next pick, I don't necessarily think he can win, but under these standards, I think the most relatable person on this cast and the most personable one on the cast is my next pick, Joe Hunter. That is going to be my next pick. I see Joe as someone who is the loving, caring father figure. This guy's coming out with people that are Eva's age, that are out there on the island. So you've got somebody who can relate to the old schoolers, like, and I definitely do sense some sort of honesty and integrity alliance being built out there with people like Coach, Joe, Ozzy, Jonathan. You've got that type of archetype out there, and it's really hard for me to think that Joe, especially having two other 48 people, I would assume they wouldn't target each other straight off the bat. I'm not mad about picking Joe as my second pick.
I'll say you can pick your next a second. I think that's a fantastic
I
pick.
think so
Joe
too.
is like one of the top people I would have picked, just as I mean, how could you come in better? Like, I mean, he's coming in his last season, he was all honor and integrity, and he was good at challenges. Like, I really find it difficult to imagine a world where Joe doesn't at least make merge. And like maybe he becomes a threat after that, but yeah, that's a very strong pick. I agree with that.
Like, what do you need Joe out for, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm. Okay, so for my next pick, I think I'm going to continue off of the logic that basically made me pick Genevieve as my first pick. For my second pick, I'm going to pick season one Survivor Borneo contestant, Jenna Lewis. I think, Jenna is not again. Well, actually, no. Genevieve has a bit more attention coming into the season, but I don't think Jenna's a big name at all. She's really on this cast because she came from season one, and they just wanted a Borneo rep. Borneo rep. Um, I guess my biggest concern about her is the fact that since it's been so long she's played. She could potentially go home early, but I'm looking at her tribe right now, the Orange Tribe, and it's absolutely stacked. Physically, we have Joe, Ozzy, and then we have like Christian, who's really good at puzzles. Savannah as well is really good at immunities. So I don't see that Orange Tribe going to a tribal council at all, really. I mean, I do think potentially if Jenna goes home early, she might get swap screwed or something like that. But same thing in a sense that I don't see people gunning for Jenna Lewis and her being on the top of everybody's hit list or anything like that. I think she's coming in with a pretty low threat level. And with her starting tribe, I think she's pretty set to make it a decent amount of rounds, assuming that we have a good amount before a swap. Because let's be real, the fans, I'm sure, voted for a tribe swap, so that's probably going to happen. So, yeah, that's my first pick, or second pick, Jenna Lewis.
Yeah, I wasn't really Jenna wasn't even on my radar as someone to pick. But I mean, I'll go my next pick now. Talking about somebody that could be gone early and you get those votes that are going to count for our draft as negative points towards you out of the way, that kind of stirred something in me and it made me think of like one player that I feel like that could so easily apply to them. But if this player makes merge, I could also see them coasting by as kind of a goat and not really being a problem for anyone. And maybe they go out in the end game and then maybe they make FTC and they're just a complete goat. And that's Colby. So I'm going to pick Colby next because I feel like all that logic that I just explained really applies to him. I feel like he's not going to be catching votes tribal after tribal. I feel like if people want him gone because he's some old schooler who's not really out there to play the game, or maybe he's trying to play the game, but he's hasn't really ever tried to properly play modern Survivor the way it is now, and people just decide to get rid of him, then he's gone fucking 5-1 or something. Or He's just laid back old Colby who just gets in an alliance and sticks with that alliance. And then he just rolls through the merge and then he's just kind of there. Maybe he gets voted out in fifth place or he loses fire making or he gets like a vote at FTC because he's Colby and Ozzy's on the jury and he's like, Colby's a legend. He's the original immunity beast and he deserves my jury vote. And then Ozzy's the only one to vote for him. So I feel like I don't have faith in Colby to win the game. I want Colby to be like this reimagined player that's insane at the game. And it's just like, wow, it's so awesome to see Colby in 2026 kicking ass in Survivor. I don't see that happening. But I feel like for the logic of our draft and how the rules work, he's not a bad pick. So I'm going to go Colby as my next pick.
Colby was going to be my next pick. So
Hmm,
good job.
suck it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So, forgot that was the order. Okay. So I only think it's fair that I start to balance this out. So I am going to take a lady. Um, but which lady am I gonna pick? Because it's tough. You balance out the points for getting placement versus the points for getting voted out. Now, it's almost interesting, like who do I think could get voted out late in the game, you know? I mean, that gets them a lot of points, but then every vote towards them, let's say it's 4-1, that's not that bad versus like, a bigger tribe. So, what I'm going to do is something very risky. I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to take a risk because this woman has either the potential to be very, very early out or make it very, very, very far. So, just going to bite the bullet. I'm going to take Surrey Fields.
Wow.
Bad pick. I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like I've doubted Sari too many times in the past to doubt her again. She could do well. I'm not gonna blame you for that one. But also she could go out early.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, hmm. Okay. For my next pick, I think this is also a really big risk, in my opinion, but I remember when we gave our reactions to the cast reveal, I actually kind of spoke fairly highly of this person. I think this person has changed, become a bit more self-aware, and so I have a lot more
Mhm.
confidence in them as a player this time around. And for my third pick, I'm going to pick Angelina from Survivor, David
As
versus
soon as you
Goliath.
said awareness, I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't touching Angelina, so thank you.
I don't know. Like,
I
I
don't
feel
hate it.
like
I don't hate it.
I don't. I feel like Angelina's not gonna be like last time. I don't know. I think she's definitely become more self-aware. I think she's learned from her first time around. And once again, I feel like looking back to because it's funny because I also watched that video when everybody wrote down like the first person they want to vote out. Nobody said Angelina. I don't think Angelina's a big name at all. So so far I'm kind of being a bit more cautious with my picks, and I'm not picking the biggest names. Because theoretically speaking, they won't be targeted throughout the season and have their name written down many times. So, Angelina's my third pick.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, fellas. I've actually not seen the tribe divisions yet, so I'm looking at this for the first
Oh,
time.
Oh, that's what we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's interesting.
to be honest, I actually haven't been paying attention to them. I
Oh,
haven't.
that's why I picked Jenna, like on Orange, because
I
Orange looks like a
really
really
don't.
strong tribe physically. I don't know if that's.
I really don't like Colby's odds of surviving on that purple tribe, but I won't get too much into it, but yeah, this is an interesting one. Oh wow. Oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't have picked Joe. Okay.
Yeah,
God,
well, I'll pick
boy,
my
it's
next.
so
So,
hard.
okay, well, okay, well, I'm between three players because on the subject of risks, I feel like there's three players that all have the same thing in common, and we're all going to be super hesitant to touch them for our drafts because of it. But you guys are taking relative risk with your
I
pick,
see it.
so I'm going to take a relative risk. For my namesake, I'll take Kyle. Honestly, I don't know if I feel terrible odds for all of the winners, like especially Savannah and D, because I feel like D Yeah, I think Kyle and D are seen as the two best winners of the new era. But I feel like in general discussions from what I've seen, I feel like D is held in higher regard.
Yeah,
So I feel like Kyle is a bit of a safer pick than D. And Savannah,
agree. Yep.
I don't want to touch Savannah at all. So I'm going to
Neither do
take
Yeah.
Kyle.
I.
He's strong in challenges. I think he's well rounded. He could be an asset. Let me check tribes really quick to make sure I'm not making a horrible mistake. Hold on.
To tell you the truth, I'm being completely transparent. I'm avoiding the winners like
Yeah, I don't
at
think
all costs.
Kyle's
Like I'm
awful
saving them
because
for
he's on a
last.
tribe with Q and Colby and Angelina, and I feel like all of them could be early boots. And I mean, it's not the strongest tribe, but I feel like Kyle is one of the stronger people on that tribe. Honestly, I don't feel terrible about Kyle's odds looking at that tribe, so I'm going to take Kyle as my next pick.
Okay. I am very, very, very confident about my next one after looking at these tribe divisions. I am more than happy to pick up Chrissy Hoffbeck for my next one. Um, I do believe that a few people are concerned about her just because mainly of challenge performance, but looking at her tribe, I don't rate their challenge performance, but I also look at Mike White and then I look at Camilla as and I guess maybe even Charlie, that just as like generally not the most like athletic people that you'd think of for being challenge beasts. So it's like I don't think even though Chrissy is a little bit older, like same thing with Coach in a way, like he's also older, but I don't necessarily know that they're gonna base their decisions off that, especially in a season like this, when you've got other, players like that on the table. I like Chrissy's odds. I like Chrissy's ability to connect with the women. I like her ability to kind of give off that strong mom vibe that I think would resonate well with maybe Charlie again if if he's not gotten too much PTSD
I don't
from
know.
Maria. But as definitely I could see Jonathan wanting to work with her like a powerful mom figure. I think Coach will respect the age thing. Like I can tell Coach who he'll probably want to work with based on this tribe, but I think Chrissy could be pretty safe on there. So, and in the game.
Okay, I think that's a pretty solid pick. I know who I'm picking next. I just noticed that I've so far chosen women, and I'm actually going to keep up with that trend. I'll start picking some men. For my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Aubrey Bracco from Survivor Co. Wrong. She has definitely proven to be a very good Survivor player, but she has been declining each time she has played Survivor, unfortunately. I mean, she got what, like 18th place? I don't even remember. 18th place,
Early.
16th place
Yeah.
on Edge of Extinction. I don't think it's going to get much worse than that. I think honestly, her Edge of Extinction performance is going to help her a lot in terms of her threat level. I think if had she been returning to season 50 like and not play Edge of Extinction, like maybe just go wrong or something like that, I think she'd be really high on the hit list. But yeah, and also I just have a very soft spot for the robbed runners-ups on Survivor. So I like the way she plays, very strategic. She has quite a few connections on this cast. So yeah, I feel pretty good about Aubrey Bracco. We'll see how that goes.
Aubrey was going to be like one of my next two picks. I feel like she's been on the decline, but she's not a terrible player. So I feel like she's coming in underestimated because of her declining performances, but she's got a solid core. Okay, so for my next pick, I don't know, I'm trying to keep in mind the draft and who's going to get votes and who could get far. So my logic for the next person is based very heavily in that. And honestly, I mean, I'm actually a fan of this player. I feel like I liked their story and their quieter moments on their season. So my next pick, and based on how I feel like the draft is going to go, or just like based on how our points go, I'm going to pick Jonathan. I feel like he's not getting voted out pre-merge. I feel like it's a risk because there's a chance he's merge boot. I feel like he could be voted out like 9-5 or whatever the merge is going to be. And I'm getting a lot of points negated against me and I'm not gaining that much. But I feel like could be in a similar situation to 42 where maybe he catches some votes at the merge, but he doesn't get voted out. And at that point, he's a bit, or seen as a bit of a meathead who's good at physical challenges, but he's not going to solve a puzzle to save his life. So he can pick up a couple immunities, but in reality, if players take a logical view of the game, there's puzzles in most challenges. He's not actually that big of a threat, and he's a fairly loyal guy. So I really feel like I could see Jonathan maybe picking up two or three, maybe like five votes at max around the merge, and then he just cruises right through. I really feel like Jonathan is a safe pick given the rules of our draft, although I admit I'm not too hot on his odds of winning.
That's very fair. I also I'm not gonna say necessarily that he deserves to be on 50 because trust me, I would have replaced him. I don't think people give him enough credit. He wasn't really that bad of a player, like apart from his physicality. He's not amazing by any means, but it's not like I think Ozzy is way worse than him. I genuinely do believe that he is able to be a little bit deceptive and play the game a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
hesitant to pick Ozzy because I feel like Ozzy is going to be like that
Yep.
merge boot that is good at
Yeah.
challenges. Yeah.
We're chipping away at that purple tribe. We've only got a few people left on there. So I feel like I do kind of want to pivot over to the orange tribe just because I feel like there are a few selections here. And it's interesting. I feel like I could choose people for different reasons. I mean, one, the reason being either I think they're gonna get voted out first and they're not gonna cause me too much damage, or I could choose someone who's gonna get me far. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take another huge, huge risk. But I'm gonna pick someone who I don't think is going to win and who I do think is going to get voted out pretty deeper in the game. And I'm totally gonna metagame this because he was in the trailer, and if you were paying close enough attention, he started off looking like me. And after a few minutes, he looked a little more like Kyle Flux because Christian Hubicki had enough time on the island to grow a lot of facial hair. So Christian Hubicki is gonna be my next pick.
Yeah, that's
It,
definitely a risky one.
honestly, I'm scared that he gets what was the vote count when he was voted out in David versus Goliath? He was voted out like almost unanimously, wasn't it?
No,
No?
it was a very tight one
Maybe
among
I'm probably just mistaking it with like the Gabby vote then.
yeah, no, he received also, are we counting negated
No, just
votes?
negated votes don't count against your player.
Okay.
They're
Yeah, I mean for him he got a lot when it was Gabby, but when he went home it was a split between I believe him, Allison, and I think there were some I think it was one of those close
did
ones.
Davey played an idol that round, I think. So it was
Yeah,
final seven.
it was close.
Yeah.
But that's just mainly because especially on this orange tribe, I I honestly I worry for I don't know who I would I do sense a Christian Devins, Emily, maybe Savannah thing going on just because I don't see, Rick Devens or Savannah really resonating great with like Shanna Lewis or Ozzy. It's tough. So that's my pick. Taking a risk.
Okay, I'm a bit torn because my next pick, hmm, I'm kind of surprised nobody has picked her yet, and this would be my fifth woman in a row. And I want
I
to
mean,
pick some guys,
for what
huh?
we thought of this cast in like the first assessment, like we said, we think it's a woman season to win. So I can't blame you for having a lot of women.
I mean, it's just I'm not really thinking about who's gonna win the game. I'm thinking more about like who's gonna get me the most points, like given our whole system. And to be honest, I'm a picker anyway, but really looking at this cast, I don't see myself picking another woman. I'm going to pick Tiffany
Yeah.
Nicole Irvin. I think she is probably not the mm, if there's a WTF pick on this cast, it's Tiffany, in my opinion. I don't think she should be on 50. I think she is worthy of coming back to play Survivor again, but not for a season like this. Maybe something like a second chances type season. Tiffany is somebody who I think like is going in with no threat level whatsoever, in my opinion. Like who's targeting Tiffany? Like I said, I feel like she doesn't really deserve to be there. Maybe some other people feel the same way. In my opinion, also, I feel like she was just put on the cast because they're casting Q. That's the only reason why I think she's there, to be honest, because they just want to see Q and Tiffany fight. So yeah, pretty straightforward, honestly, not much to say. I just feel like Tiffany is lower on the totem pole, I guess, in terms of threat level. So I don't think people are going to target her and write her name down very much.
That's fair. Um, I'm gonna pick this next person. I feel like it's another risky pick, but I can't not pick them. I'm just gonna go and say I gotta take Coach because
I was
I don't
debating
What?
want
between
anyone else
Tiffany
to
or
take
Coach.
Coach from me. I want Coach on my draft. I feel like he could get taken out early because he's Coach, but based on our logic, he's taken out early. That's not a horrible, horrible thing. And I feel like he's gonna be the loyal, honesty, integrity whole shtick, and he could just have an alliance that carries with or that carries him far in the game because of that. Like it's fairly simple, but I'll admit this is more just this is a pick from the heart, not from my head. I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't get Coach on my draft team.
Yeah, it's fair. I picked him first in my other draft just because he's like one of my favorite characters of all time. But this one I left him open. That's
Thank
tough.
you, thank you.
Okay. Moving swiftly onward. This is always the part that gets a little fun because that is quite a few picks for all of us. I think that's five for everybody. So we're down to the final nine people. That's not exactly what we want. So, for my next one, I'm trying to think again about who could still get me far. Because I think among these people, I think that there is good odds of some of them avoiding it, but it is really difficult. It really is. Um,
Winner, pick a winner. Come on.
Pick Savannah. She's all yours.
Yeah, you go for Savannah. Come on, man.
like, no, that's not exactly what I was thinking. Um, okay. Uh,
Spin a wheel.
No, no, I have it. I have it. It's still a really, it's another shot in the dark out
Oh
here.
no. Oh, I know who I'm picking next. Hopefully.
I'm not decided. I think I'm deciding between like two people.
Okay. If there's somebody on this cast who was told, like, played their first time and thought to themselves, if I ever go back there, I probably don't want to play the same game just because I don't know if I can do it again. So, with that being said, I think that this person has a reputation that they are hopefully going to, you know, put to rest and born a new type of survivor player and play a hell of a lot more conservative. For my next pick, I'm going to take Rick Devens. And I know how crazy that sounds,
Yeah.
but in this cast with all of these people, although he is someone who people are going to be like, whoa, Rick Devens, he also, I think, knows that this time he needs to do everything in his power to avoid it because he put himself in that position last time. So now I really do think that he'll tame himself down. And out of the people left, that would be my better guess because I think he is. I did see in some press interviews that Um, his whole thing is going in as more of like Uncle Rick and really, really trying to dumb himself down. So let's see how it works. I'm gonna go with Rick.
Yeah, I was thinking that was a very risky pick because we saw how he played last season. He had to play all these idols and he always had his name written down. But, with our rules, nullified votes don't actually count against the player. So maybe it's not
We'll
as
see.
bad
We
as it
don't, I
seems.
mean, we don't know how the Billie Eilish boomerang idol is
Oh
exactly
my
going to
God, he did talk
function.
about
So
that in the
he did.
premiere.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
All
For
right,
my
Isaiah.
next pick, I think this is also a very risky pick.
I think we only have risky picks
I
now.
guess so. Yeah. So if you look back at previous All-Star seasons, the players that play back-to-back seasons, statistically, at least one of them does very well. And I do not think that player is Savannah. So for
Good
my
pick.
sixth pick, I'm going to pick Rizzo, as he would say, Rizgod, Riz God, baby. So he is my sixth pick. Um, Basically, like I said, I think looking back at All-Star seasons, I think every single back-to-back player has had a decent run to a certain extent. So I feel like if between the two, obviously Rizzo is going to be the one to make it far. However, I think the issue with Rizzo is because he is the unknown. I think he could potentially, if he does make it far, I think he's going to have his name written down quite a few times. And even looking at the preseason stuff, everybody's talking about 49 and they want him out first. So I don't know. So I'm gonna just go with Riz God and see what happens.
I
I
definitely feel
like
like
it.
that's the better pick of the two. And honestly, I feel like I don't know. This is an odd situation to bring up, but I feel like for me, if I was an established player on 50 and I see Savannah and I see Rizzo and I spend a day or two around them and I see how they are, who they are, I understand just seeing how Rizzo is, why he's on 50 because of just the personality. Like I can tell like he's this young gamer, he's this millennial or whatever Gen Z type guy who's
Calls
there
himself
to bring in
Riz
this new
God.
audience. And whereas Savannah, I look at her and I feel like, okay, she must be dangerous because I don't just spending this day with her. I don't see anything super, super special about her. So I feel like Rizzo's going to seem a bit more like a character, but he is a bit more dangerous than that. And so I feel like I can understand, or I could understand from a player's perspective why Rizzo is on 50. Savannah scares me a lot more. I mean, I guess I'm feeling I don't want to touch Savannah with a 10-foot pole. I don't want to be anywhere near. For my next pick, I got to start picking up more women because I did say that this is a women's season to win. I am, gosh, who's left for women? Hold on.
You got
Oh, okay.
Savannah.
I know. I got this one. No, no, not Savannah. Okay, this is one I actually don't feel bad about. Um, I'm I've actually never seen one of her seasons, so
Yeah, I
forgive
think I
me
know.
for not knowing much about her as a player, but I'm gonna pick Stephanie.
I've never seen
Um,
your seasons either.
I don't think she's bad. My my main hesitation is that I know she went out really early in HVV, and I don't know exactly why that was, but hopefully she's grown since then. Um, I don't know. I don't feel too bad about her. Honestly, like this is me metagaming, but I do remember that like there's been a lot of chatter about just how insanely excited Stephanie has been about this season. Like she's been nonstop talking about it, which maybe she's just a fan of the show and it's been 30 seasons since she's played, so she's excited to be back regardless of placement. But I feel like if I were on Survivor, and I was hyping up the season as much as I will, people could very well interpret that I did pretty well. And Stephanie is just talking nonstop about how well or like how excited she is for this season. So I feel like Stephanie is a pretty okay pick. I at least think she's gonna do well. I don't think she's gonna be super early.
I do want to add, she went home unanimously on HBV. Uh,
Ah,
eight
well,
to one. Second boot.
well, she's grown since then, I swear.
Oh my God, this is when the draft. I know it's not my turn, but this is when the draft is going to get really tough.
Oh yeah, this is when it gets like brutal. brutal. And it's interesting because I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
don't. I see like,
yeah,
gosh, let me look here. Oh, hold on. I'll list out everyone we haven't picked yet. How many people do we have left? We've picked what,
Six, right?
18?
Because we each have picked six players, I think, now.
I think I have it. Is that it?
Yeah. I was writing about two. Yeah,
Perfect.
that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just
So
doing
I can see
honestly
a
for
couple people
myself.
that I want to pick. Well, not
Um,
really, but
Really? I have no
okay.
clue.
I do have a pick. Yeah, I got a pick. As
I
I
mean,
told
there's one that I
before,
feel like I don't understand why we wouldn't like want to pick her. I feel like looking at one of
yeah,
them.
no, yeah, you know exactly what I'm picking. I'm picking Emily Flippin.
Mm.
It's just I rate her odds on that orange tribe. I think that she is going to get past that. If they lose, I could see it being Savannah out. That's who I think would go home first on that tribe. So I'm more that Emily Flippin, great player, probably going to resonate well, really with Christian. Probably I think she's played like Blow on the Clock Tower, with him, Isaiah's new favorite game. And yeah, I'm also picking amongst the people we have left. No, no hate if any of you are watching
I mean, I
this.
know
You're
who my
all
next pick
I
is
actually
from
like
the
every
five,
single person in there.
but yeah, I know who my next pick is from the five that we have left.
Okay, wait, who's left? We have Savannah.
Savannah, Ozzy, Mike White, DQ. DQ.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, that's eesh.
I don't
Make
know.
your pick your poison.
All right. Um, for my next pick, I mean, I think all of us, actually, with the exception of you, Kyle, have been avoiding these types of players. But I guess I'm going to pick one of these for my draft. I'm going to pick, in my opinion, I think most people would agree, the best player of the new era, Valladares. Um, Honestly, this is very risky. This could go hit or miss. She could go out early, and I think she is somebody that's going to get targeted a lot. But to be honest, I really don't think we have many options left, and I think she's the person I have the most faith in as a survivor player. So I am going to pick D.
Yeah, I could see her maybe squeaking by if she gets a lucky swap. Well, that wasn't who I was going to pick, so thank you,
Oh,
Isaiah.
really? I thought you were going to pick
Um,
her next. Dang.
no, I had my mind made up. This is someone that, if to all the hundreds and thousands of fans that watched our season 50 initial cast reaction, I was very, very 50-50 on this player. I feel like there's logic behind why they could go very far. There's logic behind why they could be the first boot. I'm going to go with Mike White for my next pick. I feel like there is a non-zero chance he sticks around because people want to get on the White Lotus as a cameo. Okay,
I
okay.
don't I don't absolutely hate it.
And
I'm not
worst case
it out.
scenario,
I
he goes home early, and that's not necessarily terrible for our draft, as long as it's like a 3 to 4. Okay, come on, Mike, and vote it out 3 to 4, and make it like 4 boots that I'm net zero. Come on, Mike. I don't know. I feel like he is, at the end of the day, he's not a bad player. He's just very rich. I feel like there is logic to why I could see him doing okay. So I don't know. Like, imagine Mike White does make merge and he gets past the first couple merge votes. Like, yeah, he's a dangerous player, but at that point, who's going to give him the million? Like, maybe he really deserves it. He plays this kick ass game, but at the end of the day, the $1 million, who it goes to, still does matter in the eyes of the jury. So I feel like he could still get to FTC, and then that's not too bad for me. I there's not a lot of pick left. I
I
don't
mean,
feel bad for
I
Mike
guess you're
White.
right though, because if you look back at David versus Goliath, apparently he didn't give it his all at FTC because he didn't want to take the money from Nick, who needed it a lot more. So, I'd imagine perhaps this time around he also kind of doesn't want to win. So maybe he makes a deep run and people just think that he's not going to get any votes at the end, so he makes it far. I don't know. It could go either way. It's really 50-50. Either he makes it like all the way to the end, or he's going to be like first boot. Yeah, I agree with
don't Okay. Okay.
All right, we have who left? Savannah, Ozzy, Q.
Just that's it. That's it.
All right.
Um, there's almost the debate of like, do I really just take Savannah just because I think that like she is literally just gonna be like one of the first people out, like, or do I just go for it? You know, like I kind of want to play this fun. I know how our point system works, but like I kind of want to root for my people. Like if that may, like, I don't know, it makes it more fun for me. Um, so I ain't picking Savannah. One of you two thinks that was Savannah.
Well, I mean, I get my pick chosen for me. It's in Isaiah's hands who I get.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna get Savannah.
No, I don't want Savannah.
Um, all right, I know who I'm taking.
Don't you want we all need one winner on on our draft teams.
Unfortunately, I don't. Because I am going to pick Quintavious Burdett. I am going to take Q. The reason I'm going to take Q is because I think on his season, it was more of like let's dogpile on Q just because of the people he was among. Like there was a lot of like Charlie, Tiffany, Kenzie, like all playing really good social games and all having a lot of people kind of just as these big scapegoats. Now with this season, I think that people are going to find more value in Q than they did previously, especially like if you have any idea who he is, I think some people are actually going to be pretty intrigued to work with him just because they're like he's just so out there that I think a lot of people probably think they end up can beat him. Um, and if they pick him up, it's almost like, you know, a shield for them. Whereas like Ozzy, and to be fair, like I feel like we are sleeping a little bit on Ozzy just because although people are like, oh, he's a challenge beast, like he's a little older, and I think he's, you know, a little bit different than he used to be. So I
Yeah,
actually do see a world where Ozzy makes merge. And then he definitely, I
it's
could
true.
honestly, I could see him being the same placement as Game Changers, like that same
That's my
jerk.
exact
Like,
worry is that I feel like Ozzy is destined for like 12th
yeah,
place.
and
I feel like
unfortunately, that doesn't help us.
because
So
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like, yeah,
take
he's
you.
older. He's not as much of a challenge beast, but I don't get the vibe that his attitude will have changed much from his previous, what, four performances. I feel like he's gonna still act like the same old Ozzy. I just feel like he's gonna go early merge is really my prediction for him. Maybe he goes out pre-merge because maybe he's the new Colby. He's the old man in the fat suit or something like that. I don't. I'm not saying anything about you, Ozzy. Don't come for me. I don't want anything. But you know, I don't know. But I don't know. Is Isaiah who even?
I'm gonna be honest. I know we've
He
been
could get a lot of
avoiding.
votes. He could get voted out
Okay, listen,
unanimously.
I know we've been avoiding Savannah like the plague, but like really thinking about it, like, is it crazy that I'm like actually considering like picking
No, it's not
him?
crazy.
No,
You're a
no,
really
and here's
smart
why.
man.
I still don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm just like trying to break down the math, right? To be honest, I think Ozzy probably will make merge, but I agree. I feel like he's gonna go. Same placement as Game Changers, probably be near unanimous. And honestly, like Savannah going home like pretty early on a small tribe in the pre-merge, she doesn't have that many votes cast against her. So is it really a bad choice for me to pick Savannah? Like, I don't know. Uh, damn. I don't know. Uh, hmm.
Please, Isaiah, you know I'm such a big Aussie fan. He's
You
my
know what?
favorite player.
You know what? I need more guys on my draft team. I'm picking
No, you
Ozzy.
don't.
I'm
No.
picking Ozzy.
All right, I'm stuck with Savannah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very much 50-50 because I said, I'm just trying to break down the math and just thinking in terms of points. I honestly could see a situation where Savannah would result in um a smaller amount of negative points. But I'm just gonna go for what I feel like is a bit more guaranteed, I guess. I feel like
Mm.
Ozzy's a lock to make
I
more.
wanted Ozzy, so
So
oh well.
you got stuck with Savannah.
Please go home. Like it's gonna be a three-person tribe, and she's gonna go home 2-1, and she's actually gonna earn me points.
Okay, so I am actually going to look at this because I have not opened.
Yeah, I mean we can go over the official draft tribes. So for
So how
me,
does everybody feel about their team, I guess?
Let me look at it again.
honestly, I think I have too many guys. I was not focused enough on the girls, and I realized that around Stephanie. I was like, wait, shit, I need more girls. And
Uh,
what do I have? I have three women. Oh wow, oh wow.
oh my gosh, I have
You have
sorry, let me count this. Two, three, four, five. I have five people from the Orange Tribe.
Oh yeah, wait, let me check. Hold on. I never checked that. I have four people from the Teal tribe.
Yeah, half of my draft is from the purple or magenta
I have
pink
three
tribe.
people from purple, and I guess that would be one person from orange. Yeah, I have Savannah. Fuck.
Yeah. I feel
I don't dislike my team. I feel like it could be better, just based on the criteria of who I feel like is going to win. But I mean, admittedly, I'm not a math student. I have not done the full mathematics for what would logically, mathematically be a good choice given our point scoring system. So maybe this entire thing we've been talking about for the past hour about, oh, well, you want someone to go home early because then, like,
Yes.
yeah, they get a small amount of votes, but you're also only earning like 3 points if they go home like third boot. Then versus like say Ozzy gets like 12th place, he's getting 12 points and gets 9 votes against him. Like there very
yeah.
well could be just stupid logic in having a bunch of people that go home early. So hopefully I have a bunch of people that go really far and don't get any votes. They all get threed out.
I'm having fun, man. I picked
Oh
people
yeah, this is
I
all for
like.
fun.
I've tried to pick people who I do kind of like. I do root for, and I do actually think I have a bunch of good
Yeah.
players on the
When
team. It's
when I
just
came up with this point system, I specifically made the point system in mind with the fact that I wanted it to be really difficult to end up with a positive score. And this is not tested. I'm not a mathematician, as I previously stated. But I feel like there's this kind of like a janky system that there can just be fun in the chaos. So we'll
exactly.
see how it goes.
This
But
is a
our official
celebration
teams,
anyway. Whole
yeah,
celebration.
our official Survivor Conquest team, Stallings team, aka the People's team, for our rotating series of guests. We have Charlie, Joe, Sari, Chrissy, Christian, Devins, Emily, and Q. We for my team, or no, I'll do Isaiah next. That's the order we picked. For Isaiah's team, we have my winner pick, Genevieve, Jenna,
That's crazy,
Angelina,
bro.
Aubrey. She's Canadian. Fuck off. Tiffany, Rizzo, D, and Ozzy. And for my team, I have Camilla, Colby, Kyle, Jonathan, Coach, Stephanie, Michael White, and
And the
Savannah.
best.
Yes,
Save the best for last.
listen, all I know is I have $2 million on my team. What do you guys have?
1 million and some change. I mean,
And Stallings has Q.
I have Q. Yeah, Q is a worry for me just because I need him to change up his
He's
like
not.
vibe a little
no.
bit. Like I just need them to perceive him differently. Just because people should know after watching it at home, like Q's not actually as like threatening as they made him out to seem. He's kind of just a character. So I'm hoping they leave him be. I'm
I
hoping he
mean,
can do something.
Isaiah and I were talking earlier today, and I've never even seen 46. I haven't seen
That's crazy. That
I
was
haven't
like
seen
46
a
is
good
really good.
chunk of the new era, but I've heard good things about 46. I've heard fun things about Q, but I was literally telling Isaiah earlier today, I feel like I don't need Q on my screen until the final six. I feel like I'll be good with 2 episodes of Q. One, so that he's not gone too soon, and two, so that he's not there too long. So, I, sorry, sorry
I
to your
think,
loving pick there, Mike.
and I think 2 episodes is just about what you're gonna get, to be honest. I think looking at the final three, Q would have been my last pick, I think, to be honest. I think I might have even
I
picked
don't,
Savannah
I
over
don't feel
Q.
bad about my choices. I like my choices. Honestly,
Well,
I'm
I like
happy I
my
got Coach.
choices, so I guess
I
we'll
like,
have to
I,
see.
I got Coach. I'm my own winner because I got Coach.
Honestly, if Coach wins, that's just a win for the world, in my opinion. But we should probably not let this string on too long. Uh,
No.
No,
Actually,
no need.
Stallings, do you have an official winner pick? That'll be the people's winner pick.
Charlie.
All right. All right. We have two
That's what
Charlies
I
and
picked him.
Genevieve.
Yeah, he's
All
such an
right. Fantastic. Well,
well,
hopefully
guys.
Charlie doesn't go too early, or we're gonna have to grill every single guest we have about their
Oh, for
stupid,
sure. And
stupid pick.
they're just gonna be like, damn, that dumb Stallings, he really messed it up for us.
Exactly. All
But
right. Well,
been a pleasure, guys.
Stallings,
Thank you for having me
thank you for
again.
joining.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm sure we'll
Yes.
get you on as a guest. We'll need to do like a mid-season
Probably.
check-in to see how your team's
Oh
doing.
man. Oh, for sure. That's maybe like a merge. Maybe the merge.
Yeah.
Merge episode.
That'd be a good.
Yeah, it's like that's good.
All right. We'll pencil that in. We'll pencil
All
that
right,
one in.
I'll check that on the schedule.
All right.
All
So
right.
yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching our season 50 in the hands of the fans draft, and look forward to seeing weekly coverage for Survivor 50.
Well, don't
Uh,
make any promises.
wait, what?
Don't make any
Allegedly,
promises.
weekly
You don't
coverage.
want to do weekly
We've said
coverage for
weekly.
50?
Yeah, well, we've said weekly a couple times for a couple seasons, Isaiah. It didn't
No,
turn
but
out that way.
season 50 is different, okay?
Stay
I
And
think
tuned.
this will be the most dedicated we'll have ever been. Whether or not that dedication carries on the whole season is TBD, but we have good odds.
I mean,
If
the
they
fact
don't,
that we're
it's the
doing all
season's
of
fault,
this,
not theirs.
the fact
Yeah.
that we're doing all this preseason stuff, which we've never done for any other season, is a good sign. So, all right, see you guys later.
Bye.